Hello and welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Whimsy Legacy Expanded Challenge. But first of all, welcome back to my channel. It's amethyxtnix and I am super excited to officially start this legacy challenge. I'm not gonna lie, I have been procrastinating for a couple of weeks now. I think I was just so nervous and so scared in actually starting an LP, which I haven't really done before. The only time that I was playing an LP, or like obviously like a legacy challenge, it was usually just for my own enjoyment, and it wasn't through YouTube, it was through Tumblr, which I really enjoyed doing, and just taking screenshots of the gameplay and making a story out of it. And I had fun until I was no longer getting excited with the actual challenge itself. So now this is my first attempt in doing an LP, so please bear with me. But before we get into all of that, and before I formally, again, I guess second time formally introducing you to the founder of this Whimsy Legacy Challenge, why don't we head on over to the actual Legacy Challenge itself, just so then I can introduce it to you all if you haven't heard about it before. So let's head on over to the Legacy Challenge. So everyone, this is the Whimsy Legacy Expanded Challenge. So this is an expansion of the original Whimsy story Legacy by HIIII, and this expansion was done by Lucia Blur. So I know that there's been a couple of LPs surrounding the original Whimsy Legacy Challenge, but this is the expanded version. And what really got me interested in this is because there's a total of 24 generations. Now, in my previous cast video of my actual founder for this challenge, I did mention that I have attempted a few other legacy challenges, and the most successful one to date was the 7 Deadly Sins legacy challenge, and I was actually able to reach generation 9 of that challenge, but my PS4 decided to not work anymore. And my other previous legacy challenges, which I actually posted on Tumblr, were both the Postcard Legacy Challenge and the Live for Something Legacy Challenge. I actually really enjoyed those. I was able to reach generation 3 for the Postcard Legacy Challenge, and then generation 2 for the Live for Something Legacy Challenge. However, over time I just wasn't really getting excited about it anymore, so I stopped. But who knows how long or how successful I am in regards to this Whimsy Legacy Expanded Challenge. I really do hope that I will be successful. But basically, there's a total of 24 generations. There is a detailed premise to start each generation, and one of the things that I really liked about this is that there are events that drive the stories into each generation. They've got expanded goals, and they have endings with different outcomes that could affect your next heir. So again, when I used to play this, it's really just for my own enjoyment, and I really liked kind of ticking off the goals that I have done for that particular generation. So hopefully with all of these events, these expanded goals, these different outcomes, hopefully the story that I will be able to give you guys will be more interesting, I guess. It will keep you watching. I hope that is my goal. Anyway, it will keep you watching, and it will help me continue on playing this particular legacy challenge. And like I've said, there's goals and events, and they're put into the most optimal order for completion, but the order doesn't really matter. And it's not a deal breaker again if I don't get to complete the goals, because that would just affect the ending and then help facilitate the story for the next generation. And last but not the least, basically all other gameplay mods or script mods, they are generally permitted, but again, I could ignore the rules that I don't want, and I could make up the ones that I would like to see. And like Lucia Blair said, just go wild. And that is the aim of my legacy challenge. The aim for myself, as well, I guess, to the viewers who actually do end up watching this very beginner let's play gamer, for them to enjoy it as well with me. So yeah, so let's get back on to Malaya, and we'll read through her Generation 1 premise. So yeah, so Malaya Luna Whimsy, the founder of our Whimsy Legacy Challenge. If you haven't yet, you could check out the cast video that I made for her. But basically, Malaya Luna is our Generation 1. You are without a home, but not without love. So the premise: your story begins, as most stories do, with endurance. You're homeless. You've gone out into the world with nothing but a tent and a dream. As a child, you never had somewhere you could call home. You were bounced from place to place, always dreaming of a home to call your own. A sweet suburban life, complete with a family of your own. Since childhood, you have longed for a life of normalcy. You are tired of everything around you being turbulent and broken, so you search for joy in the mundane. Life is lonely at first, but fortunately, you find love with another homeless sim. Though the two of you have little to nothing, it feels like absolutely everything with your partner by your side. You are a carefree, nature-loving, naive dreamer. Some may call you a hippie, but you just call yourself happy. From the ground up, you create. You make candles, fabricate your own furniture, and search dumpsters to make it by day. Eventually, you have a home of your own, built with your own two hands. A tiny home, but a home nonetheless. You've done it. Your dream is finally realized. You will stay in this comfy, small, shoebox-sized home for the rest of your life, making a living by growing in your garden, raising your children, and selling the things you make at the local markets. It's a meager life, but it's everything you've ever wanted. So, Malaya her aspiration is a master maker. Her traits: loves outdoors, and she's a freegan, and I can actually choose any trait I want. I actually gave her the gloomy trait. I think just because she never had somewhere she could call home, she was bounced from place to place, always dreaming of a home to call her own. I think over time she became gloomy, until obviously she finds love with another homeless sim, which hopefully we will see throughout this generation. So I gave her the gloomy trait. She doesn't have any bonus traits or lifestyles, and her focus skills are fabrication, handiness, and wellness. So there are 2 events that we need to do. So one, from the ground up, we build our own home on the lot, and it's either a micro or a tiny home feature. And as a young adult, I must live in a smallest tier micro home, and then in the adulthood I can expand it to the largest tier of tiny home. And the second event is family life, so getting married to another homeless sim. And once I have a child or children, I will be naming them based on a nature theme. Now, goals and tasks: I have to have at least 3 tattoos. I already have 1. and I mean Malaya already has one. She rarely wears any makeup and she dresses as casually as possible, so I will explain that later on when we get into the gameplay. We actually start on an empty lot in Willow Creek or Windenburg, so I actually have chosen Willow Creek, and I will reduce the money to 0 simoleons once we get into the gameplay. I can give my sim a tent and a potty bush, and I need to be self-employed with a freelance, simply crafted career. And again, the 2 events there, I have to foster a healthy garden on my lot. I have to name my children after nature. I need to master the fabrication, handiness, and wellness skill and complete the master maker aspiration. So, in saying that, let's finally head on over to gameplay. So everyone, this is Malaya, the founder for Whimsy Legacy Expanded Challenge. But first of all, I'm actually going to change her outfit because the weather is cool and she is literally wearing her summer outfit. So let's change the outfit to your usual casual style. Excellent. So this is her. So she loves the outdoors, she's freegan, and she's a bit gloomy just with what happened in regards to her life. So she's back in the tent. She's a bit, let's say that she's a bit shy. She doesn't want to say hi to everyone yet. It's 8:34, but background story in regards to oh guys, so everyone meet Chance. So Chance is a stray puppy that Malaya saw when she set up tent in this in Willow Creek. So this is 526 Foundry Cove. So the backstory in regards to Malaya, basically in my head, she's half Filipino, half Australian, and basically her mom, I would say, was an international student in living in the Philippines. She was hoping to be a doctor. She's studying to be a doctor, and obviously she fell in love with Malaya's dad. I completely forgot to explain why his name is Chance, because he's been given a second chance by meeting Malaya. So that's why I've called him Chance. Chance Whimsy. So back to Malaya's background story. So her mom fell pregnant with her halfway through her studies, and her parents were basically disappointed and they didn't approve of her relationship and her situation. They wanted her to be a doctor and to study medicine, and obviously this wasn't in their plan for her to fall pregnant so early on in her studies. So her mom gave birth, and unfortunately she was forced to leave baby Malaya at the doorstep of Malaya's dad. And there's just a simple phrase, like on a card, saying, "I'm sorry." And she was never to be heard of again. Girl, what are you doing? What you doing? The dad never heard from the mom again. And he was completely heartbroken. And it really didn't help that Malaya completely looked like her mom, except, I would say, except for that, come on Malaya, let me pause, except for that little bit of her nose in my head, and maybe just her slightly tanned skin. And yeah, and a couple of years later, when Malaya was only a toddler, her dad passed away, brokenhearted. She was raised by her grandma, and now to add drama, her grandma was the second wife of her grandfather. Now her grandpa had 2 daughters. which would be significantly older. And when I say significantly older, maybe they were in their teens when he married his second wife. So her grandpa had two daughters from his previous marriage, and they didn't particularly like their stepmom, so Malaya's grandma. They were nasty to her and their half brother, which is Malaya's dad. So the grandma raised Malaya, and she absolutely adored her grandma and her grandpa, and her grandparents adored her as well. Now, when Malaya was a teen, her grandma became ill enough that she was unable to continue to look after Malaya, and her grandpa is in the same situation as well. So with her grandpa's instructions, she had to live from one aunt to the next throughout her teenage life. So they didn't exactly treat her like family. She was treated more as a maid. So yes, she was able to go to school because she was being supported by her grandparents at the time still. However, when she's home, home in her aunt's place, you know, she had to cook, she had to clean the house, she had to do the laundry, she had to look after her younger cousins, and only after then could she really focus on her studies. So she was bounced from one aunt to the next, but she was still able to find the time to actually spend with her grandparents, maybe during the weekend. So when she turned young adult, basically her grandfather passed away, and not long after that her grandmother passed away, and with the little inheritance she gained from her grandparents, she actually had to use that to pay for the funeral services for her grandma. So because her aunties refused to offer any bit of help. And seeing as her grandma was the sole reason as to why she even stayed in the family, and now that obviously she was gone, Malaya lived up to her namesake, because Malaya means, if I'm not mistaken, being free or freedom. So it means Malaya means being free in Tagalog. So she freed herself from the rest of her family, which never treated her as one anyway, except for her grandparents. So she packed up the remaining clothes that she had. She spent money on getting a tattoo. So she got this tattoo just to kind of represent her newly found freedom. She bought a tent. She bought herself a yoga mat because she's really into wellness. She bought her sunnies with her eyeliner and her mascara and a blush, and moved far away and moved to Willow Creek, where she found this little spot just at the end of the street. Now, for storyline purposes, I was thinking that maybe the neighborhood was hoping to make this like into something to not something, but like a mini park. Maybe that's why there was a tram, but they just never got around, or maybe they didn't have the funds to create a park. So when Malaya was here, I would like to think that she asked, maybe there were some elders here who were happy to help out our founder and said, you know what, you can set up in 526 Foundry Lane. She loves outdoors. She's a freegan, so they reject consumerism and prefer to reduce wasteful spending by any means. They enjoy finding reused or thrown away goods and foods. So I'd like, maybe in my head, back when she was living with her aunt, like she had to eat whatever scrap was left, whatever leftover was left when she was cooking dinner, lunch, or breakfast for her younger cousins. And maybe she also saw how her aunts have, spoiled her younger cousins. So, there's just a lot of wasteful spending. So maybe that's why she became a freegan. In fact, they have the best luck at finding the highest quality treasures in dumpsters. They may become tense or uncomfortable if they spend too much time earning or spending simoleons. It's fine. So I've got a few mods that I have downloaded and in my game. So that's why I've got all of this extra traits for Malaya. So she is a provider, and I think that is a very good description of Malaya. She's a provider. She's extraordinarily caring, social, and popular people, always eager to help. Popular leisure activities include volunteering in the community, charity or religious organizations, celebrating holidays and family traditions, cooking, entertaining, and social sports. In regards to the volunteering in the community, charity or religious organizations, I think she got that from her grandma. So all of the culture and tradition, the Filipino culture and tradition, were obviously taught to Malaya. She is also a muser. So for choosing a creativity aspiration, which is great because we're going to be making a lot of stuff basically. And she's actually also just an everyman. They just want to belong and feel like a part of something. So again, I think that is such a, obviously I didn't choose this for her. So this was just what was given. But I think she just wants to belong and feel like a part of something. I think she belonged and she had that feeling of being part of something when she was with her grandparents. During the times when she had to stay with her aunts, she definitely did not feel that. She's an artist. Excellent. They strive to create things of enduring value and achieve their vision. In many cases, however, the fear of not being exceptional prevents their growth. I really like this. I think it just fits her perfectly, or the character. And I'm gonna try and dress her as casually as possible. The only times that maybe she doesn't look casual is when she is wearing her formal attire and her party wear. Technically, this is an empty lot in Willow Creek, which I have decided to put her in. So we are going to be building a tiny home here. I've given her a tent and 2 potty bushes, actually. We need to set the money to 0, but I'd like to think that she still had a little bit of money from the inheritance that she got from her grandparents. So I'm going to set that. Oops, wrong. So I'm going to set that to 250 simoleons. So I'm going to set that. So she doesn't really have a lot. So we need to purchase a subway pass so that you can travel. We are in the Willow Creek Archive. There we go. Hi, my name is Malaya. I'm new to Willow Creek. I was hoping whether you know of any job opportunities. I just need help in trying to figure out where I can find work. And maybe he's asking, well, what are your skills? You know, what are your skills like? Not a lot. But I do like making things. It's just been really hard. I've just moved. And I need some sort of direction, I guess, in life. Let's research something. Let's research professional versus DIY handiwork. Okay, so, she loves making stuff. Let's add a bit more log. Talk to him, chance. I've went around town, asking for opportunities, but I really do like making stuff, and I heard from my research there's a place called Evergreen Harbour. We'll go over there tomorrow and check out that place, and then hopefully there'll be more people who can give me ideas on the stuff that I can do, especially if I like creating stuff. Let's have a quick meal. Let's just have a bit of cereal. Maybe a bit of water. Water's always good. With the sun overhead and you're just practicing yoga, that's great. So that's one of the things that we need to master. So we need to master fabrication, handiness, and wellness. And we have the master maker aspiration. So Malaya wants to become an expert at fabrication. And we haven't really done anything in regards to her aspiration. So we just need to achieve level 3 skill in fabrication, and we need to recycle 5 times. All right, Sierra O'Connor. Let's just do a bit of respectful introduction. So I want you to keep talking to Sierra and ask about career. Like, what do you do here? What is Evergreen Harbour? How do you do this? Yes, I make candles. I fabricate. I'm really into candle making, something that you could do. So I'm a detective at a police station, malaya, but I still find the time. I love making stuff, so I craft candles and I sell it here. And then maybe you're wondering, like, how can I start? You know, how can I start? And then maybe they're saying there's a lot of dumpsters in here. Start from there. So, oh, you know, check out the dumpsters, especially if you don't want to buy stuff. They can have free things in there. Like, great, let's dive for deals. He is happy. That's not a figure of speech. Malaya Luna just found an awesome item in the dumpster. Take that. Retail, industry, and rampant consumerism. Recycle from inventory. Let's recycle this, the trash pile. Let's go. And she's really not liking the environment in Port Thomas. She's feeling energized. Excellent. You received your first bits and pieces from using the recycler. Hover over the recycler with the household funds to see how much you have. Bits and pieces are used to craft items using the fabricator and to fuel, water, and power utility producing objects. Recycling things found in a dumpster is a good way to get more bits and pieces. I think this is our sim. I think she would like to craft her own furniture. She would like to have like those water and power utility producing objects. Oh, there's another one here. All right, I'm gonna get you to blackberry jam in a dumpster. Check her inventory. It's poor. That's fine. We'll eat it later. Hello, dumpsters. There we go. Sort out recyclables. Dive for ingredients. Dive for meals. Sort out compostables and dive for deals. We can complain about our problems, Chance. I'm so hungry. I'm stinky. We're gonna go to this restaurant and we'll have something to eat. Oh, she's uncomfortable. She needs to go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh. So she's got an ear infection from the cold weather. So her ears really hurt. She's got a stomach bug. But they only last for 24 hours. She's hungry. She needs to go to the bathroom, and she's just uncomfortable overall. So, my dear, I'm gonna get you to throw up, please. And okay, can you put that in your inventory? And can you put this in the inventory? Come on. We've paid for it. Excellent. And grab this. Put this in the inventory. Excellent. All right. Let's go back home. You're not feeling well. We need to visit the doctor tomorrow. So just tell Chance, like, I don't feel well. I have an ear infection. I think there's something wrong with my ears. I think I have the stomach bug. It's probably got to do with the dumpster diving that I did today. So this is actually a mod by a deep indigo, and it's the healthcare redux, and I absolutely love it. So it has all of these options for you. So going to the doctor, donating blood, exploring healthcare insurance options, order from the online pharmacy and go to the pharmacy. I think we're gonna go to the doctor. Oh, okay, so she's not eligible for a well visit. Let's just get her medicine. That's it. And I'm gonna get you to take the medicine, please, my dear. Excellent. What? Congratulations, Malaya and Luna. You are now licensed to operate motor vehicle. What did you do? Oh, great. Can I get you to just sit down, please? Just sit down and chill, because let's say that during your many conversations with the people in Evergreen Harbour, you're interested about a few things already. So shop in Amazon. Let's purchase books. You only have $45. Oh my lord. Okay, we need to go to skill and I need you to search up. So I think you became interested in making crafting your own things. So I am gonna get you $75. Okay. Oh dear. Can I Chance has aged up. He has grown from a puppy to an adult dog. He can now swim, climb stairs, go for walks, and start learning tricks. If not neutered, he can now mate with other. Feel the love. Pet. Okay, we need the moolah. So, my dear. Okay, I'm gonna get you to harvest all of the bluebell plants, please. And there's some snapdragon flowers as well. So this is going to be our source of income. All right. So everyone, I think this is where I'm going to end the episode. I mean, we have an ear infection. We had the stomach bug. Chance here has already grown from a puppy to an adult and he is stinky. We are nowhere near completing even the first part of our aspiration. We don't even have a job yet. We are hoping to do something with our love for crafting. We are gardening some bluebell, some snapdragon, some mushroom, just so that hopefully we'll be able to get a bit more money, because right now we only have $45 simoleons and we need 75 simoleons to be able to get that book, unless we find an actual fabrication machine. So yes, I'm leaving the episode here. Our founder Malaya, just in a daze and trying to make ends meet by gardening some plants and hopefully be able to sell them off. And hopefully in the next episode we'll be able to at least start her career. So yeah, everyone, hopefully next episode will be more successful. We'll have a few of the skills increasing, at least finish off the first part of our master maker aspiration, finally get our founder to have a job, and hopefully it will be less chaotic than today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed my very first one, and I am currently enjoying it. So I will see you all onto the next episode. And again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. See ya!